Confidentiality is considered one of the most important foundations of a workplace investigation. Along with fairness, impartiality, and professionalism, it helps ensure that the investigation process remains credible, respectful, and legally defensible. In simple terms, confidentiality means handling sensitive information carefully and only sharing it with people who genuinely need to know. However, confidentiality does not mean complete secrecy. Investigators cannot promise that no information will ever be shared. Instead, they must carefully control how information is used and disclosed throughout the investigation. One of the key concepts in workplace investigations is the need-to-know principle. This means information should only be shared when it is necessary for the investigation or required by law. For example, if an employee is accused of misconduct, the respondent must still be told enough details about the allegations so they can respond properly and defend themselves. Witnesses may also need limited information to provide relevant evidence or clarify timelines. In addition, management or HR may need access to findings so they can decide what corrective action, if any, should be taken. Because of this, investigators should never guarantee absolute confidentiality or anonymity. At the beginning of interviews, investigators usually explain the limits of confidentiality to all participants. They clarify that information will be kept as private as possible, but certain details may need to be disclosed in order to conduct a fair and thorough investigation. Investigators should also explain that records may later become part of legal proceedings, arbitration, or court disclosure if the matter escalates. For investigators, maintaining confidentiality is both an ethical responsibility and a professional skill. Every interviewee, whether the complainant, respondent, or witness, should be reminded not to discuss the investigation with coworkers unless necessary. This helps reduce workplace gossip, protects the integrity of the investigation, and prevents unnecessary tension in the workplace. Professional investigators also need to exercise discretion in their day-to-day conduct. They should never casually discuss cases in public spaces such as lunchrooms, hallways, elevators, or even outside the workplace with friends or family. A careless comment can quickly damage trust and create legal problems for the organization. A good investigator listens more than they speak and carefully controls the flow of information. Proper file management is another important part of confidentiality. Investigation notes, interview recordings, emails, and reports should be stored securely, either in locked cabinets or password-protected electronic systems. These records are highly sensitive and should generally be kept separate from regular employee personnel files. Treating investigation records with the same level of care as medical or legal documents helps protect employee privacy and reduces the risk of unauthorized access. Investigators may also take steps to protect witness identities when preparing reports. For example, witnesses may be referred to as witness number 1 or witness number 2 instead of by name. While this can help reduce workplace tension and protect individuals from retaliation, investigators should also be honest that participants may still figure out who certain witnesses are based on the facts and circumstances being discussed. Confidentiality plays a major role in protecting the investigation process itself. First, it protects reputations. Allegations in workplace investigations are not automatically proven facts, and premature disclosure can seriously damage someone's career, professional standing, or personal relationships even if the allegations are later found to be unsubstantiated. Second, confidentiality helps prevent evidence tampering. If employees know too much about the investigation too early, they may try to delete emails, coordinate stories with coworkers, pressure witnesses, or hide evidence. Keeping information controlled helps preserve the integrity of the fact-finding process. Confidentiality also encourages witness cooperation. Employees are more likely to speak honestly when they believe the investigator will handle their information respectfully and minimize unnecessary workplace gossip. If employees fear their statements will immediately become public knowledge, they may refuse to cooperate or hold back important details. From a legal perspective, confidentiality also helps reduce liability for the organization. Careless disclosure of allegations or investigation details can result in claims such as defamation, invasion of privacy, or emotional distress. Even rumors spreading through the workplace can create significant harm if confidentiality is not properly managed. At the same time, organizations must be careful not to overreach. Blanket gag orders that completely prohibit employees from discussing workplace concerns or investigations may violate employee rights in certain jurisdictions. Regulatory bodies such as the NLRB and EEOC have stated that employers must have a legitimate reason for restricting discussions, such as protecting witnesses, preventing retaliation, or preserving evidence. Employees involved in investigations also generally have the right to seek advice from union representatives, legal counsel, or designated advisors as long as those individuals also maintain confidentiality regarding the process. Once the investigation is complete, the final report is usually shared only with senior management, HR, or legal counsel. Witnesses and the involved parties are often informed only that the investigation has concluded and whether the allegations were substantiated, partially substantiated, or unsubstantiated. This balanced approach helps maintain privacy while still ensuring accountability and fairness.